Hi again, guys. It's Mike Wang, the lead gameplay designer for NBA Live 10, and I'm here with another mini tutorial video, and this time we're going to cover shooting. Shooting in NBA Live 10 got a nice facelift, both aesthetically and functionally, and we're going to talk about a few different things today, jump shots as well as how to do layups and dunks this year. So I'm here in the hangar environment, which is our new kind of gym that you start up in when you boot up the game. I kind of have a special demo one here, so I changed the camera so it's a little bit more like the gameplay camera, and I had all the other guys that are in the gym kind of just chill out, so they're not getting in the way. Um, but yeah, I'm just shooting around with LeBron for a little bit, and probably one of the first things you guys are going to notice with shooting is just how much better it feels. Yeah, it's tough to explain and really difficult to show you in a video. But when you pick up the demo, just shooting around in the hangar with different guys feels a lot better than it did last year. There's a lot more control. We reworked several of the signature shots and added a bunch of new ones. Um, you see Kobe here, just how flat his shot is and how much different it looks, and there's a nice rhythm to it now. And it's not just the superstars. A number of players that you wouldn't even think of got a nice makeover as well. So Steve Blake, Matt Bonner, two guys that come to mind for me that are kind of fun to shoot with their new jumpers. So yeah, a nice upgrade across the board. And under the hood too, we're doing a number of really cool things thanks to Dynamic DNA. I'll let Gareth Weeder talk about that in more detail when he gets to his blog on the upgrades this year. But some really cool stuff there. But for this vlog, we're going to talk, I think, a little more about just the control side and how to pull off some of the new shots and new layups and the new dunk controls. So hope you enjoy it, and let's get started.
First things first, all shooting has been moved to one button this year. It's going to be your X button on the 360 and the square button on the PS3. And the shot type you're going to get is dictated by how you're moving on the court, the context of the situation, and what you're doing on the left analog stick. So let's start with jump shots. For jump shooting, just make sure your left stick is neutral and hit the shot button, and you'll shoot a jumper. The release of your jump shot this year is directly corresponds to when you release the shot button. So if I release the button early, like this, I'll release the shot a little bit earlier. And if I hang on to the button a little bit longer, like that, then I'll release my shot a little bit later. And shot timing is really more important in this year's game than it has been in the past. So it's really important to really just play with different players, practice with them, and figure out kind of the rhythm of their jump shot and figure out when the best time is to release the shot. Our next thing is what we're calling momentum jumpers. So you have the ability to shoot leaners, fadeaways, drifters also, so based on your momentum. So if I'm moving across the court, in this case I'm going kind of up on the screen, if I keep the stick held in the direction that I'm moving when I hit the shot button, then I'm going to shoot a kind of call it a hop jumper. So just a little hop, and then you'll shoot a jumper. And if I'm doing the same thing, but I release the left stick right as I shoot, but I still have momentum, then I'll shoot kind of a 1-2 pull-up jumper. So 1-2 steps, pull up, hit. And then if you want to shoot step backs, then as you're moving laterally up the court, if I pull the stick away from the basket when I shoot, like this, then I'll get a little step back jumper. So use those step backs and leaners and hop jumpers to just create that extra space between you and your defender. And it's really important this year more than ever to really know your personnel, because certain guys are really good at shooting off the dribble, and certain guys they have to be more set when they shoot. And we'll get more into that later when Gareth Weeder talks about his Dynamic DNA blog. And also certain guys have a signature go-to step backs and leaners, so I really encourage you to just try out different players and kind of master and learn what their shots are and what's in their arsenal, because this year more than ever, just shooting with the right guys and shooting the right kinds of shots is really important in NBA Live. All right, and the last thing with shooting that I'm going to show you now is manual bank shot control. So shout out to GSW on the Operation Sports forums, who is I think the first guy that came up with this feature a couple years ago. But if you want to shoot a bank shot and you're in kind of a bank shot zone, then if your left stick is deflected in any direction when you release your shot button, then your player will try and go glass. So it doesn't really impact your shot success a whole lot, but It's kind of fun to do with certain guys, Tim Duncan especially, D Wade. They love to go glass, so you have that control now in live if you want it. All right, so next up is attacking the basket. I'm here with B-Roy again. And if I run toward the basket and I hit the shot button, then I'm going to get kind of my normal straight-in layup. So drive in, shot, and layup. And if I'm holding down turbo when I shoot that same shot, then my player is going to try and dunk. So your player's ability, as well as the congestion in the lane and how open he is, will dictate whether or not he goes for a dunk versus a layup, and also how successful he is. So try not to dunk in traffic or try and force dunks through crowds, because your guy will get rim stuffed or he'll get bounced and he'll miss the shot. Okay, so the last piece of shooting control, and probably the most interesting aspect of shooting in this year's game, is something that we're calling layup solutions. And this idea came from a guy who actually did mocap for us this year. He came in and he was talking about how he was at a Steve Nash camp, and Steve was teaching players that as a guard, you have to have different solutions for getting your shots off when you're kind of amongst the trees and attacking bigger players. And so we kind of just want to give you that same control in live. So as we talked about before, when you're attacking the rim and you hit the shot button, keeping the left stick held toward the hoop is going to do kind of just a straight-in layup. But if I throw the left stick to the left or to the right of the basket as I'm going to the rim, then I'm going to take a layup in that direction. So throw the stick to the right when I shoot, I'll take the layup to the right. And if I throw the stick to the left, then I'll take my layup to the left. So it's great for evading the defense. If you see a blocker coming, finish on the other side of the basket or the other side of the player to protect your shot. And the cool thing about live this year is that we also wanted to give you that control over pro hops and euro step and spin layups. So if you're kind of out in this, I guess I'll say kind of 15 to 18 foot radius, somewhere around here, and you're driving toward the hoop and you have turbo held, so kind of like when you're dunking, but instead if you throw your stick to the left or to the right when you're doing that, then your player will do a euro step or pro hop layup or spin layup if he has that in his arsenal. So it's really good for when you're going kind of one-on-one against somebody and you got one guy to beat. If you pull those kinds of shots off, then there's a really good chance you're going to get right past him and he's not going to be able to stop you, and you should be able to get an open look at the rim. So really encourage you to try out this mechanic, because once you kind of start learning these shots is when the floor starts to open up for you and you can really just see some fantastic plays.
Alright guys, well that is about it for the shooting blog today. A couple people asked me to get a better look at D Wade, so I'm just going to shoot around with him for a little bit longer before I close this thing up. But yeah, just to reiterate some of the stuff I said before, shooting in NBA Live 10, way more control, feels a lot better than it ever has before in the past, and really think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So the demo drops for Xbox 360 and PS3 on September 10th. So hopefully all you guys that are watching this will pick it up, and I hope you guys will really dig into the shooting game this year and really kind of take the time to get a hold and grasp of all the mechanics, because there's really a lot of depth there once you sink your teeth into it. And it's not just for show either. I mean, the defense will play pretty tough this year, so it's really important to just learn how to use your body, how to shield the ball, how to find those seams and split the defenses. Yeah, just to create that separation for your player to be more successful. Oh, and one other thing I think I forgot to mention about the layup controls is if you're driving baseline, if you want to finish on the other side of the rim, so a typical reverse layup, if you throw your left stick toward the baseline when you shoot, then your player will do that. There are other shots as well that I didn't really mention, like floaters, teardrops, runners, what else? Fadeaways. They're all there. I just didn't want to kind of cram them all into this video, so just experiment with your guys. Try different things on the stick. I think it's all pretty intuitive, so I think you'll be able to find everything. But yeah, the game will be in store shelves on October 6th for Xbox 360 and PS3. Hope you guys all pick it up. And I know many of you are looking for more 5-on-5 gameplay footage, so I guess I'll go whip something up there for you too. That's about it. Later.